Live from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport in Texas, this is Runway DFW in color. Now, here is your host, Walt Zwerko.
And we're back. As promised, it's just before 5:30. We're actually a little early, and we're here to see the British Airways A380 arrival here at Dallas-Fort Worth, which was supposed to be happening right about this time, but we're going to have to wait another 90 minutes or so for it to get here. It's due in about 7 o'clock Central Time, so it's about 90 minutes from now. And until then, we'll bring you the arrivals and departures here from DFW Founders Plaza at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport in Texas. Well, if you had joined us earlier and then saw our aborted broadcast, it was just so hot. Our equipment was literally melting down. Nothing was working. And we're now kind of in the shade for a little bit anyway. And hopefully we'll get to keep things going. Luke Jensen, hi Walt. Greetings again from Farmers Branch. Hope you're finding a way to beat the heat. I'm less concerned about me than the equipment. And Fareed is welcoming Brad Ward on board. Happy fourth weekend to everybody. Brad Ward, of course, the exec producer at Airline Videos Live, and we're glad to see him on board. Yeah, let's see. Oh, that's Brad. And there's Brad saying hello. Hi, Brad. So good to have you on board with us today. Yeah, we missed some nice flights coming in. Unfortunately, we got Qantas coming in and Qatar Airways, and we had a Cargo Lux 747 going out, but you know, what can we do? We're gonna do what we can to bring you everything that is possible to bring you. So we've got some planes lined up ready to take off here from the north side of runway 18 left, right in front of us. First out of the gate looks to be American Flight 372, 737-800, off to Phoenix. After a bit, I'll show you what I concocted to try to keep us from, to protect us, to shield us from the heat, but it just didn't work. In the shade, our official thermometer here is at 98. But in the shade, it actually feels kind of pleasant compared to what we had earlier. So in addition to the temperature, we've got just kind of some spotty clouds as we greet a Sun Country plane coming in. And I haven't had a chance to look at the screen. I'm going to say either Minneapolis, St. Paul, Punta Cana, or Cancun. And I was wrong on all those counts. It was coming in from Puerto Vallarta in Mexico. We've got a United jet now lining up for takeoff. This one It's an A319 off to the mile-high city of Denver, Colorado. Greetings to all of our friends here in the U.S. and around the world, to Runway DFW for a special Friday presentation. As we welcome the British Airways A380 to our back to DFW airport. It is A380 day here at DFW. The big jet is scheduled to come in just before 7 o'clock local time, or thereabouts. And it will be the first super jumbo A380 to visit Dallas-Fort Worth since Qantas suspended its A380 service from Sydney back at the start of the pandemic. And since then we've been A380 free here at the world's second busiest airport. So we're happy to see it coming back. And you know what? We have had our first ever on Runway DFW. Our first ever super chat from our friend Chuck Tolsma, who's right behind me. And thank you, Chuck. $4.99. We really appreciate your contribution to DFW. Our channel has officially now become a member of the YouTube creators group, and that means if you so choose, you can leave us a tip. So thank you, Chuck, for being number one. That's very gratifying. Okay, we've got American Flight 1208, I want to say, coming in from Burbank. And we will bring it to you live here on Runway DFW. Just a little appetizer for the A380. And Brad Ward chimes in, I'm number two. Thank you, Brad Ward, $9.99. That is excellent. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Brad. Very kind of you to have to salute your fellow broadcaster or streamer. Uncle Car Guy saying, well, we'll have a UPS MD-11. Well, that's great. We love that. We'll be on the lookout for that. And another good thing is that Dwayne C. is saying the stream looks good and stable. And yeah, I did some checking before we went on, and it looked like it was holding up. Here, I'll show you our setup here to the extent that I can. Now we do have two cameras, and the one you've been looking at just now is that one there, and that's a fixed location, but it gives us some activity generally if if there's nothing else going on. And then over here, we've got our equipment table, which is covered with a light blocking curtain. Actually, our computer's back behind there. There's our hotspot on top there with a fan on top of it, whirring away to try to keep things cooled off. And then in the background there's another hotspot as our backup in case we have some issues. So that is our setup here at Runway DFW. And our computer is sitting on top of a block of ice. So that was American Flight 1537 coming in from Las Vegas, an A321, right here on Runway DFW. And Uncle Car Guy is making, being a little more specific about the MD-11 coming in 7 minutes from now. So we will look forward to that. Always good to see a tri-jet here on Runway DFW. Allison Bowers saying, great setup. I wouldn't have a clue where to begin. well, it takes a lot of experimentation and also observation. You know, I've watched airline videos live now for, you know, since I discovered it last year. And, you know, I make note of, especially their behind the scenes streams to kind of inform me as to how things can be done. And that helps me a bit, and we kind of have to adapt to the situation here in Texas. Now, did I punch that up? Yes. Okay. This is American Flight something or other coming in from Denver, another A321 on Runway DFW. I'm sorry about the flight number. I can't quite read it on the screen. Looks like that was flight 1067 for those of you who are keeping score. Got an American Eagle Embraer 175 on the flight line and 18 left. It looks to be going to Billings, Montana, and we'll be seeing that as an American Airlines flight. 2846 comes in from Salt Lake City. So we may get a little double barrel action here on runways 18 left and right. There's a fly that's taken a liking to our lens hood, so if you see something large and insect-like in front of our lens, that will be said fly. So there goes the Eagle flight to Billings, and here comes the American Airlines flight from Salt Lake City. Have I mentioned that we are at DFW Founders Plaza here at DFW Airport here on the northwest side of the facility, and as you can see, we've got quite a crowd here lined up and ready to watch out for the A380 plane spotters av geeks and just anybody in general who likes big aircraft. But most of the folks are kind of navigating to the shady areas, and I can't say that I blame them. Last time I was here, we had a gentleman whose father was flying an American Eagle flight, and he left me a note wanting to know if he could get a clip. So I sent it to him, and he seemed to be happy about it. Luke Jensen, $2.50 super chat. Keep up the good work, Walt. Thank you, Luke. I appreciate it very much. Another American Eagle E175. That one coming in from Oklahoma City, just to the north of Dallas, about a half-hour flight. And UPS MD-11 just 3 minutes out, flight 5510. Are you going to catch your taxi to the UPS terminal in Watchett Park? We'll do our best, Uncle Car Guy. We will do our very best. We have a Spirit Airlines flight from Sin City, City of Angels, Los Angeles. It'll be an Airbus A380, and it's just a minute or two out here. Let's see if we can get a sneak peek of it here. Oh, kind of lost it. Hard to lose the yellow bird with a bright blue background. Kind of floating there for a second. Now, Uncle Car Guy assures us that the MD-11 is next. And we are talking about a 21st century MD-11. We don't see too many of those, really. This one from 2001, coming in from Louisville. Patricio Vieira Alfama Ferreira. Busy afternoon. I was very busy trying to pronounce your name, so I apologize. My last name is Zwerko, and people look at it and say, what? And they try to overpronounce it, and I probably just did the same thing to your name, so I apologize. Let's see, we have nothing in the sky right now. Well, we do. There are things in the sky. We just don't see any in the immediate vicinity of where we are. But we do have this American jet poised for takeoff at the north end of runway 18 left. And we also have an Air France flight bound for Paris now lighting up on our radar. It'll be a Dreamliner pulling out from the International Terminal D. So we should see that take off in the not too distant future. I was going to tell you about this one. Clive, I can't put your message on the screen right now. Clive Barber, but he says the stream is looking good, so we're keeping our fingers crossed. Still can't tell you where this plane is off to. It is off to El Paso. It was American Flight 1353 an Airbus A321. And since we like tri-jets, let's zero in on this one that just came in from Louisville as it approaches the UPS cargo hub. I saw a mention in the comments about cancellations. There have been hundreds of flight cancellations over the last few days across the aviation world. And it seems to be primarily ascribed to the fact that airlines had kind of overscheduled for the amount of personnel they were going to be able to have. They just don't have enough pilots and flight crews to handle all the flights that they had optimistically scheduled for the summer vacation season, and this being a very big weekend, of course. Scott Smith saying Lufthansa canceled our 747-8 flight for today. Sad that happened. I hope you can get rescheduled on it. Do you have to take an alternate, less classic aircraft? Because that would be a big disappointment to have to make alternate arrangements. Now Scott Smith saying that. And Patricio saying here in Amsterdam Schiphol, they already canceled too much. Also my flight. Yikes. Ken Black has just subscribed to Runway DFW. Thank you for doing that, Ken. And there again, you can see some of the folks who've gathered here for what I imagine is going to be a pretty big crew by the time our Airbus A380 rolls in. It's A380 day here at DFW Airport. Yes, British Airways flight is on its way. It's just about 1 hour out now. Should be here in 1 hour. And we'll see something that looks very much like that, although not coming in at quite that angle, here at DFW Airport for the first time in a couple of years. So we are all very excited to look forward to A380 day here at Runway DFW. Well, it's time to say hello to this American Eagle Embraer 175. Specific about what we just saw when I can glance at my screen. But I may have to put that off because we've got a Frontier flight on the flight line here. Where is it going? Let's play Guess the Destination. Could it be Denver? Could it be Seattle? And I completely missed what the tail art was on that one. So for those of you who are guessing, that's going to Ontario, California. And that was on the tail, Clover, the deer fawn on the tail. We've seen her before. And ooh la la, what do we have here? Mon Dieu. Air France. Air France. It's off to Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris. It's a 787-9-900. And it's flight 153. Air France just resumed flying to DFW a couple months ago, I think. We were here for its return. Scott Smith is saying that the flight that the British Airways A380 that's coming into Dallas is in the top 8 on flight radar as far as the most tracked flights. It should be less than an hour out from here at this moment. Patrick McDermott and Farid Abed saying that the flight is in the vicinity of Memphis, Tennessee right now. And we will, Patrick is wondering are there a lot of people there, Walt, for the A380, and I will, I will show you the crowd here after the Air France flight departs. There's the registration number for those of you who are keeping score. And this is definitely the most people I've seen out here at DFW Founders Plaza since the day when we had Finnair and Air France return here. Now, I'm not out here every day, so I can't give you an accurate rundown on how many people are here when, but I see Raina Taylor is back online. Hello, Raina, to you. I can't punch up your comments right now. And as you would expect for a large plane with a transatlantic flight ahead of it, with a full load of fuel, it takes up a lot of the runway before it lifts off gracefully into the sky over North Texas. Pixelated Wolf says we'll get to fly on the BA A380 from Heathrow to Dallas-Fort Worth next month. That is exciting. I have never been on one of those. I've never even been on a 747. Both of those are on my bucket list, though. Oh, and I was going to give you an update on the crowd here at DFW Founders Plaza. So this seems like an opportune moment to do that, as we don't have any departures right now. It is definitely, the crowd has definitely grown since we first got here. Yes, this is a big crowd today. Hello.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing fine.
Ready for the day?
Things are working so far.
Sounds good. How's the computer working so far?
Well, it didn't work at all earlier, so I bailed out and waited for the shade to come in. So, well, thank you. Yeah, I missed a few flights, but what are you going to do? Very hot. So we definitely have a lull in the action here. Our next flight coming in is going to be here in just a minute or two. Coming in from Chicago O'Hare, American Flight 1106, a 737-800. Give you a little orientation here for those of you who are new. Dallas-Fort Worth has 7 runways in all. We are overlooking runways 18 left and 18 right here on the west side of the airport. And they run north and south parallel. So if we point our camera this way to the south, there's the south. Those are the terminals there in the middle of the airport. There are 5 terminals, A, B, C, D, and E. D is the international terminal. That's over on this side of the airport. And if we look down there, we might spot a few of the non-American Airlines tails. Sun Country and Frontier, another Sun Country, Qatar Airways. We did have a Qantas come in earlier. I don't see its tail over there. It was a special livery too. So I'm sorry we weren't able to bring that to you, but here comes the flight from Chicago O'Hare. And Moth of War informing us that, where'd he go? They park, and I'm assuming he means Qantas parks over at a cargo hangar that isn't visible from where I am recording. So that's just an example of the kind of inside information that we get here from our Runway DFW subscribers. Oh, and maybe that reply was from Moth of War, was replying to Uncle's Car Guy, who's asking, oh, Ethan Vargas just subscribed. Hello, Ethan, thank you. Uncle Gary wanted to know where do the 747s park. Well, sometimes, when the UPS 747s come in, they park right just to the south of us. They don't have any there that I saw today, and they're pretty hard to miss. The other and we only get passenger 747s here. I mean, cargo 747s here. We don't get any passenger ones. And the rest of them park, let me see if I can visually show you. So there you see in the foreground the UPS cargo hub where the UPS 747s park. Beyond that is the American Airlines hangar complex. And then on the other side of the American Airlines hangar complex, there's some more cargo areas where the other 747s park. As I said, we saw a cargo Lux go out this afternoon during our heat lull. We were here, but our cameras weren't operational because too hot. That was American Airlines Flight 2673 coming in from Palm Springs in California. Our next arrival is going to be Alaska Airlines Flight 576 coming in from Seattle. And this will be a 737-990 ER, 6 years old. And I should dial that in, shouldn't I? Or else you won't be able to see it. I think I pushed the wrong button. I'm kind of getting hemmed in now by all the aviation fans who are here to see the A380. Moth of War says, I don't know why I'm watching this stream when it's live right in front of me. Well, I think this is our biggest continuous crowd here ever at Runway DFW. I'm seeing 347 people online right now, which I know, compared to some of the big streams, is a drop in the ocean. But for us, that's a pretty big number. So we thank you all for tuning in from wherever you may be around the world. We have for your plane spotting enjoyment now looks to be American Flight 2199. 737-800 on its way to Austin, Texas, our state capital. I think I saw a large jet go by there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
was a contest or something.
I told him to come here. I started saying, I said, bring your camera.
I guess I didn't win that contest. Chuck Tolsma just came over and said, these folks, which we will see here in a moment, or do I have them on the screen? Oh yeah, they're there. Won a contest for airside access. So they're in an official DFW vehicle. And they got to hang out right on the runway. Now, I don't know if they're going to be there for the A380. You would think that would be the main attraction, yeah? And you saw Dreamliner go through your window there, which was on its way to the hangar area.
That's what I was told. I don't know if it's true.
It looks like that's what it was. But we have more aviation activity for you here, which is what you came to see, right? Coming in from Bozeman, Montana. It's American Airlines Flight 1206, an 737-800. DFW plane spotting was saying for a second, I thought the people over there were getting in trouble for getting over there. No, but they had an official escort, so I think they're okay. Here's a question from Gebel the Rebel. First question, what is it called when the plane first leaves the ground? Huh. That is a good question. Airborne? I mean, I guess that would describe it, but I don't know if that's an official answer. We're getting some cheerleading from Patrick McGlone. Almost 400 people here and only 82 thumbs up. Come on, guys. Like and share, like and share. Thank you, Patrick. AV just subscribed to Runway DFW. We probably have some more who have done that. I haven't checked our official statistics yet because I've been busy plane spotting. Thomas P., greetings from Germany. I always look forward to going on a vacation entering the States at DFW in August. Well, I hope we'll see you arriving there, Thomas P. And it's almost standing room only here. I'm glad I got here when I did. And the countdown is on. Here on A380 Day. Yes, it's A380D here at DFW, and we're just about 40 minutes away from the arrival of this British Airways behemoth. The A380 returning here to DFW for the first time since the start of the pandemic, when Qantas suspended its flights from Sydney. So we look forward to that, and we're glad to have you aboard with us here on Runway DFW. I was hoping that music would just end, but it repeated, so sorry about that. I'll have to speak to my audio engineer about that. Our friend Raina says that she has been on an A380 before, and it's a great plane. I imagine it is. And DFW Plane Spotting saying the crowd at Founders Plaza, LOL, people parking on the road. And we're going to give you a view of the other side of us, looking to the north side here. And yes, there are definitely a lot of people. There are people kind of cruising through the parking area looking for a space. I mean, you wouldn't think the arrival of a plane would create this much excitement, especially a plane that's been here before, or this type of plane, but first time we've seen it in quite a while, so we are happy to bring it to you. We're going to bring you the arrival now of Turkish Airlines flight from Istanbul. Be a Dreamliner making its way to Runway DFW. Is that a special livery? I don't think I've seen that insignia on the side there. Oh, there's some people right there on the runway. Do you see them? That's pretty close. This flight's off to Santa Rosa, California, this American Eagle flight. Embraer 175LR. So Kevin and Rudy may be having a party at the parking garage at LAX, but we're having a party here on the lawn at DFW Founders Plaza. This Frontier flight is headed to Denver, and on the tail you will be spotting Weston the Woodpecker. No, not Woody the Woodpecker. A320-251N. There's Weston. That's a 5-year-old plane.
I have a B part, clear for takeoff, 180 Frontier Flight 505.
And Weston the Woodpecker, you're getting your biggest audience in quite a while here. At least as far as DFW Airport goes. We've got some people just arriving now with pizza. I hope they brought enough for everybody. No, I don't think they did.
Frontier 5505, take care now.
Yes, this is definitely the biggest crowd I've ever seen here to watch planes take off and land. And if you can't be here, you can hang out with us virtually. Got American Flight 1269 headed out now to Kansas City, Missouri. If I can pick it out of the crowd there. There it is. I think you saw in the background there the Turkish Airlines Dreamliner circling around to go to Terminal D, the international terminal. Got an American A319 now revving up. And my screen glare is preventing me from telling you where this aircraft is going. So here in the United States, it's the 4th of July weekend. And we've got just hundreds of people here at DFW Founders Plaza to celebrate the birth of our nation by watching airplanes, most of which are American Airlines planes. And Fareed is saying yes, DFW plane spotting, or he was sending a message to DFW plane spotting, crowded there today. Yes, indeedy. know what I'm going to do? I'm going to
412 November.
take a little drink of water here.
Yes, sir. We're about 10 minutes, 8:15 out. We're going to be dropping off one passenger. Looking for fuel and GPS for a quick turn. We'll get down there. Copy that. Dropping off one passenger. Fuel.
So hang on there while I grab a sip.
Also needs to go to the terminal, correct?
Okay, I'm back after having got myself a little refreshment there. We hope you will like and subscribe to our little channel here. We are growing. And my mic is not in the right position. But we recently surpassed our 4,000th subscriber. Yeah, we're looking to grow. So like and share Runway DFW with your pals. Would ya? Thank you. And what you just saw was American Flight 2318 headed to Los Angeles. And where might this flight be going? Let you know momentarily. It's going to San Antonio, Texas, which is about, gonna guess a 40-45 minute flight from here. And this plane's going in the other direction from the one we just saw. Well, it's going right now in the same direction, but its destination is Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is to the north of here.
Wait 18 left, Delta 1666.
Plane that came in the foreground there, just arriving, is from Los Cabos in Mexico. I want to wish a warm welcome to all our new subscribers here at Runway DFW. And I'm going to have to get my auxiliary hard drive plugged in here. because I want to make sure that I capture the A380 in glorious 1080p. But in order to do that, I need to record it. My disk drive is full. Wouldn't you know?
1436 DFW Tower, 0906, runway 17,
So I'm reaching into my magic bag. And I'm going to miss a flight or two here for you, so hang on. But I do want to make sure that we get this recorded. It's down to a very balmy 97 degrees here at Runway DFW headquarters. Hard drive plugged in. And Fisherman77 just subscribed to our channel. Thank you, Fisherman77. Bear with me for a second while I set up our recording here.
That's behind American, got a ground plane south of the bridge.
I think I'm going to have to turn off our picture for just a second. Hold on. Well, I apologize for the delay. I am still trying to find a way to record this, folks. Okay, I think our picture's back, but I still haven't been able to find a way to record this, so hold on. The reason I'm trying to record this is because I'll have a better quality picture if I can record it right here on my computer as opposed to relying on the image that YouTube will generate. And so I'm trying something else here.
Runway 18 left, American 1564.
I think our picture is going to go away momentarily. Isn't this fun? Okay, we're recording again. And we should be seeing our picture again. I hope. Okay. All right, we're back. And again, I apologize for that. Let's get back to the action, shall we? As more and more people have arrived. Here comes a Volaris flight. That definitely looked like the Batman livery. What do you think? That's coming from Mexico City. It was Volaris Flight 390. So let's get back in the swing of things as we're now just, I'm going to say, probably less than 20 minutes away from the arrival of British Airways A380, and there you see our ever-growing crowd. And Mr. Brandman's saying we're only getting a couple of FPS on the stream, and the video is choppy. And do you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to switch over to our alternate. Well, that doesn't look very good. We may be the victim of too many people here. And MRI saying perhaps too many cell phones. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to plan B now. We're going to switch over to our backup stream and see if that improves things any. So hold on a second. You'll see a brief delay or a brief interruption in our signal, but then we'll be right back and we'll see how the new hotspot fares. So hang on there and please stand by. We'll be right back with you on Runway DFW. well, yeah, I think we're having problems with this stream too. So hold on there. We're glad you're with us. We are working to bring back our full signal. And yeah, I can see that our FPS, our frames per second, are bad. So we're going to switch to our third spot in just a second. Peter said good evening from the Netherlands, Saturday at 1:45 a.m. A pleasant Saturday to you. We are here on Independence Day weekend here in the USA. And if you can hear me, I know that our picture is not good right now. We are we're about to switch back to our other hotspot, which is rebooted, and usually that helps us out. There may just be too many people here today. I don't know. So hang on there. We're going to switch back and see if that works. So please stand by. Once again, thank you for your patience. You're right about that, Gibble the Rebel. Paul, we are back on our original hotspot after rebooting, and it usually in the past has worked, but again, we are up against an army of people here right now. And it may just have an impact on our signal.
It's probably always people here tracking it.
So I tell you what, at this point, I can't do anything more about the signal. Plane, the A380 is almost here. So what I'm going to do is just continue as though you can see it very clearly. Our signal being recorded, and I will turn it around for all of you as soon as I can in a 1080p configuration, so I'll look nice to you. So Richard C. saying, hey, Walt, just stay and record it, make it a post-production later on. Yeah, that's, I'm going to be here, whether you can see it or not live, and if you can't, then get back to our channel later on, and we'll have a replay of it as soon as we can get that going. And I apologize in advance for us not being able to bring you a very high quality image of the plane you all want to see. How did it get so choppy? Caleb wants to know. Well, I think the main reason, the culprit, is kind of out of our control. But it's just there's so many people here that a lot of them have cell phones, and so it's all we can do. And there you see more of the crowd. This is definitely the biggest crowd we've seen here. And I see over on the highway, there are people who have parked on the grass. I don't know if you can see them through the people there, but there are people who've parked way down there on the grass. We're trying to get a glimpse of this big jet coming in. And a Gold Daytona recommends or suggests lowering the resolution, and it's already the lowest resolution you can transmit at. And here's a police car in a field next to the run, chasing off, and he might have wandered in there. And again, if you've tuned in for the arrival of the British Airways A380, which is now 4 minutes out, we're having some technical difficulties in transmitting the signal to. But if you can hear, we are recording it, and we will playback arrange for you as soon as we can do it. So I apologize. And yes, they are trying to keep the mob at bay, the police are. But yeah, there's just a crowd of folks here, as you can see. Almost everybody with a camera or a cell phone. And yeah, I knew there'd be a lot of people here. I didn't really think there'd be this many. And Mrs. Runway DFW wants to know if I can do a reboot of our server, of our hotspot, and there's not enough time to do that right now. We did try it. So we're just going to plow through here. And I apologize to all of you who tuned in for this. If you want to see it live, we will show it live, but it may be a series of still pictures, and then we will get ourselves to a place where we can upload the resolution of it. And we're getting play-by-play by Dan Healy, who's saying the flight is now over Corinth, southbound. Andrew's watching from Perth, Australia, saying good day, mate. And it is a time for this to happen, and again, I have no control over it. It'll still be good, George Ragsdale says. Caleb Bauer saying that's a really big crowd for sure. My terminal I work at in San Francisco, it's 2 A380s. Always nice to see spotters enjoying their comeback. And we did get some good news. Lufthansa is going to be returning remaining A3s to the skies. The Big Bird is now just a couple minutes out. We should be seeing it very shortly. In fact, it's in the sky. Let's see if we can track it here. It's up there somewhere. In their internet. And again, this is the first time in more than 2 years we've seen an A380 here at the second busiest airport in the world. And we just got photobombed. As the crowd departs, we finally get a shot of it on the ground. And I'm guessing we're going to see a water cannon salute here momentarily.
Lauren, 1 left clear for takeoff, runway 39.
Just a lot of folks here today, folks. Our good friend Kevin checks in from Airline Videos with $10 super chat. Awesome to see Walt. Happy 4th. Thank you very much. We don't have a clear shot of anything right now. There it is. So anyway, thank you. Good to have you on board. And we had another super chat I saw from Lucy Romero. Thanks, Walt. Thanks to you, Lucy, for hanging out with us here at Runway DFW and for your kind contribution to our efforts. I tried to pick out this spot because it would be clear, and I honestly didn't anticipate this many folks coming out for this event. And Mrs. Runway DFW, this is why I'm going to need a platform on top of your new vehicle, your new horse vehicle, just to let you know. Allison Bowers with $3.80 Canadian, $3.80 for the A380. Happy Canada Day. Well, happy Canada Day to you. I had no idea. We're so America-centric here that sometimes we forget our northern neighbors, from which almost all good comedy comes from. Am I right? So anyway, I anticipate a water cannon salute at some point as this big boy approaches the Terminal D. This is an 8-year-old A380.
It's not like, what you think that is. It's more like your car should mostly late.
So let's see if the fire department is out in force. Looks like there you see on the runway in the foreground some lucky visitors. Got a close-up view of the A380. And we'll be back on other days when the crowd won't be so big here. We'll get a little clearer shot of its arrival and touchdown. Thank you, MJ Scanlon, for appreciating the stream. We don't have any clear shots here. Here's the Stars and Stripes welcoming Speedbird.
You realize that maybe This would be what it'd be like if you're watching something just tapping back.
MJ Scanlon is saying I need a Hori platform, and I did see his video, Hori's Box, whose home base is Fort Lauderdale, and he's got a I can't remember what vehicle he's got, but he built a platform on top of his vehicle. Got some hunks of wood and just kind of made himself a nice sturdy platform. So he'd been doing his streams from on top of a ladder, which looked very unstable. So I'm glad he got something a little safer.
Yeah, that's 777.
And
Yeah, is it 777? There it is. Closer to
as Kevin knows, and as Hori knows, and as all the airline streamers know, there's a lot going on besides pointing your camera at the pictures. So do you see any fire vehicles that might supply a cooling shower on this 98-degree evening?
That's trying to see if they
Clear to land, American, winning right, American 2496.
like fire trucks. Yeah, that's probably
Right, for now for 2815.
Yeah, we're about to get our shot blocked here by the Cowboys jersey. And ordinarily I could just plop my move my tripod around if it wasn't so interconnected with wires and batteries and other stuff. Well, it looks like the big A380 is pulling into the gate. I'll have to paint the word picture for you. MJ Scanlon is saying the signal's getting better as the crowd thins out. Yeah, there is still a crowd, still a bunch of hangers on here. But I think most of them are getting ready to pack it in and go find something to eat. Except for the folks who brought their own pizza. So I guess there was no welcoming shower. Of course, British Airways does fly in here. It's not like it's their first flight. They fly regularly in here with 777s and Dreamliners. But never before have they brought their Super Jumbo A380 to the world's second busiest airport. And yes, Spotting TV, no water salute for them. And a word of appreciation from our pal Farid Abed. Appreciate all your efforts, Walter, really do. Thank you, Farid. That means a lot. Laser 47, you need one of those tall lifeguard chairs. Yeah. Then I gotta find a way to mount the tripod on it and get all my assorted other equipment up there. So I'll give that some thought. I don't know if the DFW Airport Police would think much of that. We'd like to give our thanks for a super chat from Metal Birds Aviation. Thank you, Metal Birds Aviation. I appreciate that. That means a lot because you do some fine work. And you know how hard this is to do. So long, Chuck. Chuck Tolsmith checking out. He was here all afternoon. One of our regulars here. In fact, Chuck has the distinction of being the very first super chat here at Runway DFW. So, we will get that recording squared away of the arrival, and we'll put it together for a little HD extra here at Runway DFW. There now is our crowd, which is thinning out. But still, for a Friday evening, a lot of folks here. Wali Sataifa, Sati, Seta, Wali. Hello from Fort Worth, Texas. Happy 4th of July coming up. Thank you, and I'm sorry I mangled your name. I apologize for that. A. Green was asking airline video, Kevin, what the hell are you doing here? But showing support is a good thing. I'm a subscriber and a fan. Been with you for a 24-hour stream. All the best and much love. And we echo those remarks for airline videos. The whole team there. Kevin and Rudy. All the mods. Everybody there does a great job. And I have to say, airline videos is a big inspiration to me to start this channel. I learn a lot when I watch. Well, let's get back to, now that we've got our signal back, we can show you some regular airplanes. Taking off now. That's a crowded screen there. I'm looking at my arrivals, or at my radar screen. Lots of stuff on there right now. Some stragglers. That was American Flight 1707 on its way to Oklahoma City. So I guess we'll hang out here as long as our signal holds out. Things do look pretty as the night goes on, and look at those clouds there. Close your eyes, squint your eyes a little bit, it's like they're mountains. But they're just clouds. We don't have any mountains here in this part of Texas. We do have airplanes, the first of which is poised for takeoff. It's flight 2697 American Airlines. It is an A321, and my communication device is not telling me where it's going. Oh, it's going to Santa Barbara. Is it? I guess so. And behind it, this is the first time we've seen this flight. There's an American flight to Dublin. It's a seasonal flight, and all of a sudden I've lost all my flights from my radar. So yeah, we were here on St. Patrick's Day, and we're kind of lamenting the fact that on the day we celebrate the Irish, there were no flights to or from the Emerald Isle. But now American has one, and I don't think it's a daily flight. I do know it's seasonal, so I guess just for the summer travel months. There's the flight to Dublin on Runway DFW. More flights are departing, but my flight radar has gone completely out. I don't know if it's my phone overheating or what. We got some rain talk going on in the chat room. We are in some rather dire need of rain here in North Texas, as I'm sure is the case in a lot of the country and probably even in the world in some places. Well, anybody with Flight Radar 24, let me know if you're not seeing the same thing I'm not seeing, because I have lost all aircraft from my, I guess I'll reboot my app here and see if that helps. there. All right, now we're seeing stuff. These things happen now and again.
Tower, good evening. Osprey 2 coming to front board runway with 070 matter runway 16 on Deputy vehicle zero, monitor ground 165, have a good night. Wind 0708.
All right, back to the action. We've got this American Eagle, Embraer 175. Which I don't see on my radar. And Faith Phillips is saying, I can see all this in radar, Flight Radar 24. I can see it too now. I suspect it was an issue with either my connection or my phone or the app, but I restarted the app and flights have appeared, although not the one that we're looking at right now, for whatever reason. Here comes American Airlines Flight 1832 from Denver, an A321. And if you're a new viewer to Runway DFW, as many of you may be on this day when we've seen more Runway DFW viewers than we've ever seen, you're saying, why all the American Airlines planes? And the reason is because this is the home, DFW Airport is the home of American Airlines and American Eagle. And they command about 85% of the passenger traffic here, those two airlines. So that is one reason you see all those striped red, white, and blue tails here on this 4th of July weekend. The plane on the right there I'm not sure where that one is going. Got a bunch of regionals lined up there along with a 737 on its way to Well, this is odd. The Flight Radar 24 is saying that this flight is scheduled to go to Fresno, but it's diverting to Jacksonville. Am I looking at the right thing? Those are entirely different directions, as you might know. Let's see if I can find the tail number on this. Can't see it, can't make it out. But yeah, it says it's Dallas to Fresno, diverting to Jacksonville. Why would it be doing that? A mystery wrapped in an enigma. So wherever you're going, passengers on that plane, be it California or Florida, unless there's a Jacksonville, California, I don't think there is. We say goodbye to our friends at Spotting TV. Going to leave you folks as it's nearly 2:30 a.m. over here in Germany on a Saturday morning. Have a good one and stay safe. Greetings from Daniel. Thank you, Daniel. So appreciate your hanging out with us. So there goes that one. Did I miss it? Well, we'll see it lift off. So funny to see a regional jet compared to the tail of the A380. And Ross Ginn says he's experiencing choppy video, and we've found ourselves in the midst of that a couple of times today. I thought it had cleared up, but yes, I can see on my return feed that it's looking a bit chopped up. Not the best for spotting aircraft, I do have to admit. So while I wait for that to clear up, I am going to take a little refreshment break here, finish off my bottle of water. So I invite all of you in the Runway DFW family to dance to the music, and we'll be right back. And I have returned after consuming about a half a quart of water. Oh, that tasted good. It's thirsty work here at DFW Airport. But we're glad to have you with us. And we did have a question from someone who wanted to know if the A380 has already landed. Who was that? It's Gonzalo Rodriguez. And yes, sir, it has. We have a clock on our screen there. And it got here about 35 minutes ago. At about just around 7 o'clock. I wasn't looking at the screen when it landed, but it was scheduled right around then. So what you're looking at there is our home base of DFW Founders Plaza. People hanging out, checking out the telescopes. And there's the UPS cargo hub there right behind us, or right to the south of us, where we saw an MD-11 coming in from Louisville. What we got here? I don't see too many private jets here. They do come and go, but not too many of them. Looks like we've got one of our 2 daily Qatar Airways planes making its way up here, and there's Iberia. Did we miss Iberia? Maybe it came in on the other side. I think it probably did. So it's on its way to the international terminal. Coming in from Madrid. There's that Speedbird towering over the other planes at Terminal D. And I think we're about to see, yeah, there it is. There's the Qatar Airways plane headed back to Doha. And as I said, it's one of 2 daily flights that the Big Q has into and out of Dallas-Fort Worth. And definitely one of the longest flights, a 14-hour journey to the Middle East, where it's if you want to get anywhere in the Middle East, anywhere else in the Middle East or Africa, that's probably going to be either that or going to Dubai on Emirates. Emirates has 1 daily flight to Dallas-Fort Worth. This, of course, is an Airbus A380-1041. And everybody wants to know how old these planes are, right? Qatar, in general, has got a pretty new fleet. And this one is just a toddler at age 2. Becky Davies is saying so long. Thank you for hanging out with us, Becky. We appreciate that. Metalbirds Aviation also going to see the A380 back to DFW. Thank you, Walt, for your great content. Appreciate that, Metalbirds Aviation. Check out their channel too. They have some pretty super aviation photography to look at. And Ross is saying farewell as well. And we'll see you next time, Ross. Thank you for hanging out with us. And you may have heard that this plane is now cleared for takeoff to Doha on that long, long run to the Middle East.
1360 hold short of runway 17 right at Echo Lima. Yeah, we have a hold short with American 546, connect back good night. Hold 18 right,
Randy DeJesus saying, my, how we've come a long way when the largest plane to come into DFW regularly was a 777-200ER. And of course, you know, if you go back long enough, we had plenty of 747s coming and going here at the big airport back in the days of Braniff. And we even had the Concorde flying in here back in for about a year. That was an unusual configuration. The Concorde would land, I think it was in Washington, and Braniff had a deal with Air France and British Airways, which are the only two airlines to operate the Concorde. But when the plane got to Washington, they would slap a different registration number on it, putting it into the control of Braniff. Braniff pilots and flight crew would operate the Concorde subsonically to Dallas, although they were still under the watchful eye of the either the Air France or the British Airways crew. So it would fly into DFW as the Concorde would. It would fly into DFW as a Braniff flight with a Braniff flight number. They did not change the branding on the plane. It was still either an Air France or a British Airways Concorde, but it was operated by Braniff between Washington and Dallas-Fort Worth. So you could get a domestic ride on the Concorde, but you'd never go over the speed of sound. Although I think I was reading that a pilot may have edged over the speed of sound somewhere betwixt here in Washington. I don't know when the British Airways flight is scheduled to leave back for London. I suspect it'll be after we depart. I don't think planes that large make a very quick turnaround, understandably. Got to be cleaned and refueled and checked out and all that stuff. I'm seeing a UPS 767 lighting up on the radar, bound for Austin. I don't see, oh yeah, I do see it backing out there. We'll see that in a minute.
4228, taxi Mike Bravo, hold short of runway 17, right?
Here comes a Frontier flight from Phoenix on Runway DFW.
Runway 9858, our nav is fair, runway 17 right, clear for takeoff.
Fair, what's the direct takeoff on board?
I'm going to say ring-tailed lemur on that one.
691, safe Palace Connect, ready, good night.
Mark your show.
83633, DSB Tower, good evening, 10900, 11, runway 17, turn land.
Well, it's I was close. It was Marshall the ring-tailed cat. For your tail spotting pleasure. And here comes the 767 bound for Austin. Austin, of course, is the capital of Texas. This is a 20th century aircraft. Which came to being in the year 1996.
Right, American 1455, welcome.
Patrick, I can't push the button to put your message on the screen right now, but Patrick McDermott saying goodnight from Ramstein, Germany. See you next time, Walt. We'll see you too. Thanks for hanging out with us at Runway DFW.
Thanks for with me, good night.
Peter saying Braniff was one of the first airlines with leather seats in the 70s, and he leaves that as a farewell message. Thanks for hanging out with us, Peter. And Austin Swafford is saying 10:10 p.m. and I think that he means that's when the Speedbird is scheduled to leave. And I don't know if that's the original departure time or if it's been adjusted to compensate for its late arrival here at DFW. It was about 2 hours, 2.5 hours late, something like that. It was supposed to be here at 5. Was it 5 o'clock? either 5 or 5:30, but it got here just before 7. So a little bit tardy. But again, I read this week that American Airlines has been,
2664, clear, 179, kilo 8.
I don't know if evicted is the right word, but American had been sharing a gate space at the main British Airways terminal at Heathrow, and BA decided it needed all the gates to itself, so American has recently moved to another terminal at Heathrow. And like most airlines, at least most big airlines, British Airways is dealing with a lot of pent-up demand for airline flights. Wow, that took off like a rocket. I didn't want to interrupt the sound of that takeoff, but yeah, like most major airlines, British Airways is dealing with a very heavy travel demand in the leisure sector and in the business sector, and they're finding that while they have the aircraft, they don't have the crews to staff a lot of these flights. And so they're cutting back on flights. You know, they're cutting back on their originally scheduled flights for the summer because they just can't guarantee that they're going to have the crews to operate them. There you see some of the clouds overhead, puffy white clouds. Those of us who live here, or most of us anyway, are hoping that they'll bring some rain, which we need. And Douglas Mack is saying the A380 was scheduled to leave at 7:15, and he says it'll probably be leaving around 10 since it was delayed. And sometimes, of course, you know, the airlines do try to make up some of the time on the turnaround because, you know, that plane is going to be needed somewhere else tomorrow. So they may accelerate their turnaround, at least as far as, you know, as much as they can due to any safety considerations. Joe Slace says, I like the smell of jet fuel. Well, Runway DFW does not endorse inhaling jet fuel, I must say that. Although we do get a whiff of it every now and again here because we're so close to the UPS hub. And so when those planes point their engines in our direction, we do get a whiff every now and again.
And 1481, traffic is in a position at Lima, cross 101 right. You can taxi straight to the stop with me. Good night.
Thank you, cross 107 right.
Well, for those of you who are fans of not American Airlines planes, here comes another Frontier flight. This is flight 2132 from Las Vegas. And what's on this tail? A bird of some sort. And that was coming in from Las Vegas. And on the tail was Francie the Piping Plover, or Plover. Plover? Plover? Don't know, can't tell you.
1455 clear for takeoff 17 right, RNAV direct. Maintenance 078, have a good night.
Greetings to you, Tony Euro. He was based at DFW and he flew for American Airlines. We're happy to see you here. You understand why there's so many American and American Eagle flights that operate out of DFW, don't you?
DFW Tower, American 941, Chippy for visual to 170 center.
41 DFW Tower, good evening, 11.
Now arriving from Ontario, California, American Flight 2635 and A321, coming in on runway 18 right. As we are now, I think, almost officially in golden hour as far as the sunlight goes. Now this is interesting. We have a message from Breezy, who is proclaiming that they're currently 31,000 feet in the air over New Mexico on American Airlines Flight 1523. You must have a very good signal. You probably got a better Wi-Fi signal than we've got here. But welcome.
The ramp, stay with me, have a good night.
Yeah, we're just talking with a fan of our channel. Always nice to meet someone in person who's watched us online. We have we had another message from Breezy, who's saying they're using American's free in-flight Wi-Fi for 30 minutes. So that's how you do it. Well, I haven't flown in like 6 years, and the flight I was on didn't have any Wi-Fi overseas to Seoul, Korea, from Dallas, Fort Worth. I've been looking for a recording that I made of one of the first in-flight Wi-Fi services. I was actually on a test flight from DFW for journalists, and this would have been back in, I guess, the 90s, or maybe the early 2000s, maybe the early 2000s. And at that time they were using a system which connected to ground stations, not satellites. And it was good enough to send text messages, but not much more. You couldn't do any real, you couldn't stream music or anything. The signal wasn't fast enough, but it was pretty amazing at that time to be in flight and to be able to communicate. Just as it's amazing that we have a viewer from Argentina, Juan Manuel Solvera. Greetings from Argentina. Juan here. I'm having a great time with all of you. Thanks for your great transmission. Thank you, Juan. Just turned summer here, and it just turned winter for you guys, right? What's this? Vivid Kiwi. I'm on United Flight 1774 from San Francisco to Chicago O'Hare using $8 fast Wi-Fi on the plane to watch this. Well, thank you. Shouldn't you be watching a movie or something? But I don't know. We're glad you're here. Here comes Sun Country Airlines. Where is it coming from? Sun Country coming at us from Punta Cana. Yeah, that was a 5-hour flight, so that's no small change for that 737. And we have a treat for you now. China Airlines cargo's coming in. This is going to be a 747-409F. 21-year-old bird coming in from, did I say? Anchorage. So enjoy our look at our first 747 of the day, the Queen of the Skies.
Runway 17 right. American 1291, RNF is clear, runway 17 right, clear for takeoff.
So there's China Airlines cargo. So we've had the trifecta today. We've had a 747, we've had an A380, we had an MD-11, and if the heat had cooperated with us, we would have seen an A340 taking off the Lufthansa flight to Frankfurt, which unfortunately we weren't able to bring to you today, but we'll get to it another day. And this cargo plane is headed back to the West Cargo area. We'll follow it along here.
American 1291, safe travel to Frankfurt. Good night.
18 left, American 1482. Charles, 703. Runway 18 left, American 303.
American 2847, taxiway Echo Lima, cross when I went to the right, ground 165 other side today.
Echo Lima crossing, 1 to the right, ground 165, 05, American 2847, good night. Fly in 13 left, Southern Flight 16. Out of the Bravo, 124.3, away by left American 1777.
On the Melon, cross when I went to the right, and taxiway Echo Lima, ground 165 other side today.
Good night, Cloud 1 American,
2042, 37 needs to be towered. I went to the right, loud voice, traffic crossing downfield.
Roger, line of 817 right, Envoy, what is your picture?
American 2804, contact expression, good night.
2804, good. Tower, 695 and visual 176.
American 695, needs to be towered. Good evening, wind 100 at 9 runway 17 center, center land.
177 right, 695. Park, clear for takeoff, 18 left, American 1777. American 303, good day.
So I didn't mean to leave you guys, but I just had my first in-person gratuity from someone who's been watching Runway DFW for a while and who came over to say hello and contribute to the cause. So that was very nice. So I didn't mean to leave you hanging there, folks, but I turned my mic off so I could converse with this kind gentleman.
There's your Southwest flight turning.
Breezy says, Walt, what time will you be wrapping this stream up? I don't know. What time? The sun is still up. We've still got probably at least another hour of light. But my computer is telling me that it's about to shut down because it's not getting power, even though it's plugged into power. So that is very odd. And I would say that's critical. Let's see if we can rectify that.
Right, clear the line off, 3781.
Now I have 6% of battery left.
That's only 4237.
So the answer to your wrapping the stream up may be very soon because my battery's about to run out. Now I do have a spare computer here, which I can power up. That'll take a few minutes. And it's getting quiet here. So I think what I'm going to do, well, let's see. One of the Runway DFW fans is urging me to keep going. Somebody, Carlene Dorkins, something like that. Reboot. Well, it's not a reboot. I don't need a reboot. I need battery power. And for some reason, my big old battery is my.
What's your YouTube channel so I could help?
Oh,
What's the name of your YouTube channel?
Clear to land runway 13 right, southwest, 1160. Here's across 18 left, full short of 18 right, local 8 Alpha Charlie. Operations American 726. American 726, we just left Charlie 19. We're still in on a closeout. I wonder if you can have the same number.
all right. So, had another in-person question here. Oh, we've lost our signal.
No response to
No.
any full short of 101 right.
29 visual, 1 right, we're parking on the west side.
Breezy says if you're still around about 9:10, that's when I'll be landing. Well, we'll see. We shall see what we shall see, because I'm currently having an issue with battery power. And yeah. It's always something, folks. Bear with me for a second. Everything else is working except this.
That's not going to be here.
And I think I've lost my picture, so I'm going to have to put it into I'm going to have to put our channel into standby mode. So please stand by.
USB is power, the wind 10011, runway 17 center, middle land.
Clear to land 17 center, American 2464. Clear to land 13 left, open 987. American 403. Why not don't wait for runway 1?
American 258070 is to be power credit, echo hotel, runway 17 right, line up and wait. Thank you.